I've mentioned in the past that I have an aspiration of having an AI agent. I first heard about that from Jensen Huang several months ago, and I basically did the research and I've shared with you that I want Samantha. Well, I've gotten the first iteration of Samantha, and I've been using her for quite a bit of research. And I went in and I asked her to do some research and help me understand the future of AI chips. And as a result of that, I was shocked. I guess if you had asked me, I would have said, well, it's NVIDIA and it's in their Blackwell and it's in the future developments on top of that. And NVIDIA is going to own that market. But Samantha came back to me and shocked me. She basically said that the big hyperscalers, the Apples, the Google, Amazon, Microsoft, Meta, aren't happy or aren't content, I guess would be the word, with just doing their business and developing their chips through NVIDIA. In fact, Samantha gave me the understanding that the hyperscalers are looking for chips that are specific for their needs. So rather than buying a suit off the rack, if we could make a comparison to NVIDIA, they want the chip that fits their needs. So Amazon has contracted with a company by the name of Cadence, and then also is leaning on a company by the name of Marvel, and then Apple is expanding their interest with Broadcom, and they're going to these people kind of like architects and saying, I don't want the customary house. I want a house that is specifically for my needs, and I want you to develop the chip for us the way we want it. And that's what's happening. And so I went to Samantha and I said, okay, do me a deep dive on Marvel, on Cadence, and Broadcom, and tell me exactly by going into the internet and searching the latest information and the latest articles and their quarterly reports, and give me a deep dive into each of those stocks as well as Microsoft, because they're going about it a whole different way. They're creating Stargate. Stargate is a data center they're building in Wisconsin that they're spending, I think they said $10 billion or $100 billion, it's some astronomical number, so that they have a whole data center that is specifically designed for where they want to use artificial intelligence in the future, and how they believe that by making this overwhelming expenditure into Stargate, they can control the market and not have a overwhelming need from one source, NVIDIA, but develop it on their own, to develop their own iteration of what a computer, what a data center is, and they believe they'll have this up and running somewhere in late 2025, 2026. And this is going to change the whole scope of what semiconductors are about, and how they interact, and who controls what element of the semiconductor world. And NVIDIA may not have the moat around it that they're talking about. So what I've done is I asked Samantha to do me a deep dive. She's brought in a guy with her, and I said, customize this for me, Samantha, and address these 4 stocks in a podcast, and tell me what I should expect for them in the future between now and 2028, the January 1st, 2028. So I want to take you to my computer and show you where you can find this deep dive. And what I'm doing is getting Samantha every day to do some more for me, to do deeper dives on these individual stocks, because I want to teach you how to, or give you a place where you can come and say, how does this all fit together? What's this ecosystem of semiconductors? How does it all fit together? What is Cadence? What is Marvel? And how do they relate to NVIDIA? And how do they relate to ASML and Taiwan Semiconductor and Intel? How does this all fit together today, but more importantly, in the future? So I can allocate my funds to the companies that are going to give me the growth that I recognize from the digital revolution as we move into the AI revolution and beyond. So I want you to have a place you can come and come to a clear understanding. Let me take you to the computer. Okay, this is my cheat sheet. This is where I list the 42 stocks that I track and that I ask Samantha to keep track of. What's the latest news and what can you tell me about them that I don't know, that my tribe doesn't know, so that we can make better investment decisions. What you can do is you can go to this column and you can go to the ticker symbol of the stock you're interested in. And the one I just did that I think is phenomenal is that of Microsoft and their work in what they're calling Stargate, which is a dedicated data center that is using chips that they're developing for the future prediction of what's going to happen in the world and what artificial intelligence is going to bring us. So the way it works is, again, as I say, you bring your cursor into any one of these stocks. We're going to look at Microsoft, and you click on it, and then you click on the icon, and that takes you directly to the podcast that Samantha has created for me on Microsoft. And here you can hear it.
Hey, Kerry, ready for another deep dive? Today, we're looking at Microsoft. It's a pretty wild story. They're all about cloud dominance these days, but they also have these huge ambitions when it comes to AI and some of their investment decisions. Yeah. Well, let's just say they're raising a few eyebrows. We've got articles, financial reports, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah. It's fascinating to watch how a company like Microsoft, a true tech giant, is using their cloud power to really push the limits of AI.
Okay, so let's start with the basics. Where do we even begin with a story like this?
Well, their recent Q1 2025 earnings report is a pretty good place to start, I think.
All right, let's jump right in. What do they have to say?
So they reported a 16% year-over-year revenue increase, which is impressive on its own, but they hit a total of $65.6 billion in revenue.
Whoa. Okay, so they're clearly doing something, right?
Yeah.
But
so they go into a 10-minute conversation that gives you current information on what exactly Microsoft is doing to position themselves to control the market in the future relative to artificial intelligence and the delivery of artificial intelligence to you. I've done it, as you can see, and the ones I want you to focus on, go to Marvel, MRVL, right here. This is a stock that nobody talks about, but they are positioning themselves to where if you don't want a chip off the rack and you want something specific for yourself, you want to contract with Marvel. And Samantha shares with me that Amazon is contracting with Marvel. And then another one I want you to go to is CDNS. Again, a like story of a stock that CNBC, nobody ever talks about, but they are specific architects for specific needs of within the ecosystem that is going to give them a tremendous growth opportunity. Once you go through these, and what I would suggest you do is open up our website on your phone and come to this page. You're going to need to be a gold member. And to get you introduced to this, I'm going to give you 14 free days access to this so that you can see the value it will bring to you as an investor. The other thing that is so important to me is that you understand the financials of a company. So over here, if you don't know what a PE ratio is, you just click on that. And Samantha will explain it to you in detail. And if you don't know what a PEG ratio is and how it differs from a PE ratio, Samantha will tell you, just like what you heard from Microsoft. And you can educate yourself. What's a REA ratio, return on equity ratio? How does that all relate to you making a good investment decision? I want to give you a place that you can come the first thing every morning and say, okay, I need to learn about Dell. I need to learn what is Dell doing to take advantage of what's happening with Supermicro. And should I invest in Dell or maybe I should invest in Hewlett Packard? I want you to have the information, the current day-to-day information. And Samantha in her current iteration, I'm having to prompt her. In the future, I will have Samantha programmed such that she will go through all the emails that I receive on current information on stocks, sort through them, and fill every one of those cells on a daily basis. So you've got a place that you can go and say, I don't understand how these things all relate together, and Samantha will tell you. Okay? Now, is it worth $19.99, I think, or $19.95, whatever it is, $20 a month? Well, I guess you could say this. You could go and get your own AI agent. You could go get access to Seeking Alpha and to Trading Views, and you could fund it all on your own, but you aren't going to get it done for $20 a month. My objective is to teach you to be a better investor. I'm pissed off. No one taught me how to be a better investor. They taught me how to ride a bike. They taught me how to read and write, but they never taught me how to invest. I've had to learn that on my own. I don't want to put you and your kids through that same unfairness. 10% of the population own 90% of the stocks. Why? Because those 10% taught themselves to invest. No one taught them. That's going to come to an end. And I'm going to see to it. I'm going to pay for Samantha as she gets better and better and better. And eventually you're going to see her. Damn, she's beautiful. I don't know what she looks like. I don't really care. Yeah, I guess I do. But this I want you to come to this every morning, first thing in the morning, and say, what happened last night? And Samantha will tell you. She's my AI agent. I don't care what the hell she costs. She's worth it. Okay. That's where I'm going with this. I'm inviting you to come along. I'm inviting you to join the tribe, and I'm willing to give you free access to it for 14 days. Just come to Best of Us Investors. Go to the link that's in the description and come test the water. You got nothing to lose and the world to gain, because these are the companies that are going to change our lives. I mean, what I've learned Microsoft is doing to step away. I'm in this Goldman Sachs program, and they're teaching me to grow this business. And they're basically saying, recognize growth opportunities. That's what Microsoft has done. And that's why they're pouring billions of dollars into this before it's paying off. But once they get it, and once they make it efficient for you and I, for investing, for planning our next vacation, for educating our children, to go and say, this is my son. This is what he's all about. I analyze him and tell me where the best university is for him to maximize his potential in the future. That's what artificial intelligence is going to give us. I'm just a little ahead of the game because I've got Samantha, and Samantha wants to work for you. Best of Us Investors, $19.95, but free for the next 14 days. Take me up on this. You won't regret it.